fellow paranormalers. Today is the 19th of December 2014. Another subject, and this I think is quite, again, quite an interesting one. And again, it's something that I thought of again. I keep going back over these things, the same things. I've been thinking, when I was young as in, not even a teenager, realizing that, there was obviously a spirit world, and I've never really believed. I was brought up a Catholic. My belief system has changed as I've got older, but I still consider myself a Catholic. But my belief system is a lot wider, let's just say. And so I've never really believed that when we die, that's it. That we just get put in the ground and that's the end of life or existence. I've kind of always believed that we continue on. Now, I also believe in reincarnation. But that's not really the subject of this video. But what the subject of this video really is about, I've always been kind of fascinated how people can sort of almost categorically believe and state that there is no life after death, if you like to call it that. That we go to heaven and that's where everyone goes, or we go to purgatory, or we go to hell. But the evidence, the experiences that people have been able to tell of near-death experience, of having such an experience in their life that they died for a certain period of time, or their body ceased to live, and they went to, somewhere else, that, and there's been huge amounts of people that have said that they've experienced things like that. People who can astral project, for instance, I can do that. And again, I've experienced that kind of thing for many, many years. And, it's like just kind of part and parcel of my life. What fascinates me is even despite all of the evidence, with all the paranormal investigations that are going on, all the experiences that people have said, all the research that has been done, it's just fascinating to me that there are still people that do not believe that there is anything beyond this human existence, that when we die, that's it. That we just get buried in the ground and we get eaten by worms and whatever, and our body rots, and then there is no other existence. And I still find that quite fascinating, that even now, in this day and age, with so much evidence, that people are still quite narrow-minded to accepting that there is something beyond this human existence. I've come across people who just won't even entertain it at all. It's like just doesn't even come anywhere near them. It doesn't enter their thought. They believe X, and it doesn't matter what kind of evidence or stories that people have been able to tell, life experiences and such like. They do not believe anything, and they're just so rigid in that belief. I'm sure that people who are watching this video know people like that. People that will not accept that we live beyond, or that we exist, that our spirit exists beyond this human plane. And how do you deal with that? Do you feel the need to convince people? Personally, I think that's kind of bordering on, religious fanaticism, where people feel the need to go out and try and, brainwash people to become part of their religion and their sect and all of these things. I mean, I don't believe we need to do anything like that. But even so, it's an interesting subject that there are still a huge amount of non-believers out there, even with all the evidence. Even if they were to, you know, if I could rattle off a list of maybe 10 YouTube videos that I've seen, that even if I was not a believer, that I would really seriously think, wow, there's got to be something there. You can't have that amount of people being crazy, you know, that are inventing these stories about, you know, afterlife or wherever it is we go after we physically die. You know, I find it quite fascinating. So yeah, just an observation, really. It's an observation of how people will just still not. They dig their heels in, boom, they don't want to believe. They don't believe anything happens. Or they don't want to even explore, you know, what happens if they go to heaven. You know, does heaven exist? Does purgatory exist? Does hell exist? You know, I also find that quite interesting. So, but yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.